Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Qubitro Partner Series. My name is İlayda Bahadıroğlu. I'm a Business Development and Growth Manager at Qubitro. And today we have a very special guest, Duncan Frazer. He is a IoT Product Manager at SORACOM.
Hi, yes, thanks, İlayda. It's great to be here.
Thank you for joining us today. We prepared a couple of questions for you, and I believe that our audiences are waiting for you to answer them.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm starting. Can you share a little bit about your background and your current role at SORACOM?
Yes, of course. And firstly, thanks very much for inviting me to come along. It's great to come and talk to you about what SORACOM has and how it relates to Qubitro customers. Yes, I'm Duncan Frazer. I'm a technical product manager for the IoT services at SORACOM. I've been working with IoT from the mid-2010s. I started my IoT journey working with consumer electronics, with digital radios, way before we had any smart speakers. We needed to manage internet radio streams, and there were thousands of them. You couldn't do it on a device. So that was my first entry into IoT. I've moved through a couple of different roles. I was an engineering lead, producing demos for trade shows and proof of concepts for early engagements. But now here I am at SORACOM, and as a product manager, my role is to combine customer requirements, look for industry initiatives, and work with the project managers here, the engineering managers, and also the stakeholders to decide what it is we're going to build, schedule it out, and support it through to production.
Let's move on to SORACOM side. Can you provide a brief introduction to SORACOM and the types of services and solutions you offer in the IoT space?
Yes, absolutely. Sure, of course. So SORACOM at its heart is a cellular IoT company. We have a service called SORACOM Air, and Air covers everything from the supply of SIM cards through to the management of connectivity on a global scale. So pretty much a one-stop shop to work to supply services for customers who want to roll out a device that requires cellular connection, either in one country where they want to have access to more than one carrier. So they don't just want to be constrained by one carrier. We offer multiple carriers. Here in the UK, we offer the four major carriers, and also multi-country. So again, from the UK perspective, if I'm rolling out here, fantastic. But our SIM works across Europe, in fact, 180 different countries. So we are able to provide a really good quality, good coverage IoT service. But more than just cellular connectivity from SORACOM. So SORACOM Air is our A service. We go through the alphabet. So we have services that are built specifically to help customers integrate, build faster time to market, look at security concerns, really go a long way further than put a SIM into a device. I mean, if someone just wants to put a SIM into a device, fantastic, come and talk to us. But if when customers want to really take great care with what's going on with their devices and their data, then we have a great set of services for doing that. So Qubitro customers, when they're collecting data, if they want to lock down their devices, make them almost invisible to hackers, can't get hold of them, can't see what's going on, even if you were to get malicious code onto a device, the sorts of controls that we can bring to cellular connectivity will stop any unwanted data going out. So really some very good quality services that sit alongside cellular connectivity.
So let's talk about the use cases. Can you tell us about the use cases in the cellular and the market?
Yeah, sure. So we have a whole range of use cases in our portfolio of customers. So I mean, starting from very small devices that are rural or have to work with a very constrained bandwidth, or just don't need to push out much data. So we have major electricity suppliers and gas suppliers are using us to run their smart meters, both domestic and industrial. Other examples of kind of that low data rate rural environment are oil sensors through the US and Canada, which are monitoring pipelines, just an early indication if something's going to fail, so that the operator can get to site and stop any failures before it actually causes any problems. Transitioning through to medium-sized devices that have maybe lots more transactional messaging a day, payment terminals, bike or cycle and scooter rentals, those sorts of things that might be used 4, 5, 6, 20, 30 times a day, but they're only doing small amounts of data each time, all the way through to really large devices. So we have customers using hundreds of megabytes every month. And the sorts of applications there are maybe EV chargers. Some of those can be quite data hungry, and moving up even more, energy production and storage on a large scale. We have customers that use us for the connectivity for their different devices around the site. Yeah, so a wide range of use cases, and we're happy to work with all types of customers like that.
Yes, I can see that there are many different types of use cases in the seller, but on the SORACOM side, there are much more, I guess.
Yeah, there's and it's always interesting. We've had even this week some really interesting conversations, which you look at something basic like how much data does it take to how much data is flowing through an EV charger. Okay, so now actually just from a few devices we can start to understand whether that charger is being used by one or more vehicles, or maybe that vehicle, if it's a domestic charger, that you can get insight as to whether the owner is using the charger just at home, or maybe at the office, or maybe in the public charging infrastructure. And the sorts of insights you can draw get really very interesting very quickly.
Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. I want to move on to the partnership side.
Yeah, sure.
Now, hardware and connectivity partnerships for Qubitro are the partnerships that we complete a triple puzzle in the IoT solutions. So what is the importance of the partnerships for you in general?
I think partnerships are a really exciting opportunity to help make customers successful, or help customers reach success, because I think IoT can be really very hard. You can come at IoT with an idea of what it is you want to achieve, and even maybe some basic principles of how to achieve that, but you very, very quickly run up against a hurdle or a block, or are faced with a whole bunch of decisions, and you need to try and work out the right way forward. And having partnerships between companies like Qubitro and SORACOM kind of paves the way, smooths things out, and gives people a good starting point, a boilerplate or a template. Hardware selection, what works well. We have hardware partners. Data management, working with you at Qubitro to be able to ingest data from SORACOM, but other sources as well. And I think partnerships are really great because we get to, as in the partnership, we prove out some of the basics so that a customer can come along and they really want to start thinking. I always start waving my hands at this point. So we have customers who want to write the application. They don't need to know about the stack necessarily. So working with a partnership that proves the stack out, so they can think about their application of the device, think about the application at the server side, and draw the value. Partnerships are really helpful in reducing the time to figure this piece out and make something that works well for our customers. And making our customers successful makes us successful, frankly. The more customers, the better we do. And customer we have a series of leadership statements at SORACOM. Customer centricity is number one on our leadership statement. So anything we can do to make a customer's life easier has a lot of attention from us.
Yes, I'm totally on the same page with you. When we combine our powers, it comes out something super magical for the customer side.
Absolutely.
So what sets SORACOM apart from the other IoT connectivity providers regarding quality and the performance?
So a little bit of history then, just to set the scene of where we are. So SORACOM SORACOM was founded in 2015, so a relatively young company in the communication space. We were founded by a group of people who had put a lot of time into working at AWS and also in the telecoms industry, and were able to bring what was going on in AWS in the mid-teen 2015s of cloud compute taking the place of servers and managed in-house compute, and use that and apply it to the technologies for cellular connectivity. And the end of the story that's really important for us is that SORACOM runs its own core network. That's the network. That's the piece of the cellular puzzle between the towers and the servers. What happens to the data when it goes through there? And having this type of solution gives us a lot of knowledge of the routing, but also power in able to support customers really well, because we know what's going on if something's not working right. Maybe some data isn't flowing from one of the partners because they've done a configuration change, or a customer has an issue. We can dive in and watch the path of data and tell them if there's a hiccup or misconfiguration. It also gives us a really great opportunity to build on top of that core network. So when I was talking earlier on about the cellular services, the sorts of things that we can do, which I find really exciting and interesting. So as an example, we have a service called SORACOM Endorse, and also one called SORACOM Krypton, and they do a very similar job, but putting credentials onto a device can be a real headache for customers who need to put something on the device that's the security key to reach their server. In a normal traditional way, you would install that at the factory, or somebody else at the point of bolting the thing to the wall or putting it in the ground is going to have to download and put that data in. That is okay, but if you're not totally confident in the secure chain of data of flowing of those keys, you give yourself a bit of a hole. So one of the things that we've built with Krypton and Endorse is the fact that the SIM card in a device is our SIM card and is validated by us when it comes all the way through to our core network. We can then go off and say, well, we trust that implicitly, because if we didn't, cellular network wouldn't work at all. We trust that. Therefore, let's go and get a key from AWS or whoever's providing the credentials and pass that back down the chain. That, for a customer, means that when they turn the device on, commission it for the first time, the device can automatically go and retrieve its keys, then restart and start using those keys. Nobody had to enter anything. Nothing had to be trusted. Spreadsheets of credentials and AWS keys, or whatever the platform the actual host application is running on, they don't have to be managed and maintained. So it's a really great example of where the depth that SORACOM have got to in applying a cellular network system really starts to give a lot of power to IoT development and IoT customers to solve the problems that come up in real life, especially when you start scaling. You know, if you're doing it 10 times or 100 times, maybe that's okay. You try and do it 1,000 or 1,000,000 times, and that's a lot of spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm. It was a very great explanation about what sets SORACOM different than the other IoT providers. So we mentioned that the SORACOM and Qubitro partnerships is super valuable for the IoT space. So I would like to hear your opinion that why our partnership is valuable for the end users.
And I kind of touched on it earlier, I think, because I think so what's important to a customer, the outcome, the value, the insights. Very rarely is the IoT business about putting devices in, and maybe if it's a light bulb or a smart speaker. But generally in IoT, certainly in corporate IoT, which is where we focus more than domestic IoT or consumer IoT, in corporate IoT, you're looking for insights. And often that doesn't come from one place. So with Qubitro, we are one input source, and what you guys can do is put in sources from various different places and really help a customer to pull all the necessary sources of data together, and so that the customer can see what's going on, and find that insight, find that value, that the one thing they wanted to do. So the fact that we can, and in the demo we'll see at the end, I hope, the fact that we can allow customers to very easily, securely push data from a cellular connected device through our platform to your platform straight into visualization and data capture is a great tool for customers who want to use either just cellular or multiple data sources or multiple devices. That's where I see the power between the two devices. We can do a lot to help with that kind of in-field work, and you guys are fantastic at visualizing what the thing that's of value to customers.
Mm-hmm. So we talk about our partnership, what SORACOM does.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everyone sees SORACOM contents on the internet. So I would like to ask, what are SORACOM's future plans?
Great question. So, and we've got quite a few different tracks of work going on at the moment. One of them that's really significant, around coming back to the kind of the partnerships and the choices that customers have to make, is around the technology of the SIM. So plastic SIM cards we're all familiar with, eSIMs coming into consumer phones. Also, there are eSIMs going into enterprise devices. It requires a different management mechanic, because when you have an iPhone with an eSIM, you scan a QR code to download a profile. You need a very different management system to push a profile to an eSIM when you're using eSIM and IoT. So we're looking at that. And the follow-on from eSIM is iSIM. And so we are working with our partners on iSIM work. And those offer some really great opportunities for customers to reduce the failure. Plastic cards have been known to fail, and the SIM sockets are a point of failure. So going chip down or iSIM is a great opportunity there. Also, you're just reducing the number of devices on the BOM, or even removing the needs, the fluctuating IC market is really great. That's kind of the physical SIM side. We have physical devices. So if you look at the website, we've got devices like a simple button. We have it's relatively simple. This is a SORACOM button. You can short push, long push, double push, and trigger a whole bunch of different actions. Something that people use, that particular device, people are using everything from a door open sensor to order more paper for the photocopier, or just the machine count in the factory. You can plug a relay switch into it and a close switch into it. And then expanding connectivity. One of the things I'm most excited about, because it's very geeky, is satellite connectivity. So we have a couple of partners looking at satellite coverage in different areas of the world, and we already have proof of concepts running where the management of the satellite and the management of the data flow from those devices still comes through our core network. So from our single user console, customers can work with cellular and satellite and other connectivity types. We have some Sigfox, we have some LoRaWAN, and so a device can use one or more, and we can compress that all down and make it very easy to manage and work with. But I guess going back to what I was saying about our leadership statements, our leadership statements guide a lot of the work that we do at SORACOM. So watching what's going on in the market, looking at, so our leadership statements range from customer centricity, just do it attitude, Kaizen, constant improvement. So we are always looking for the right initiatives and improvements that we can work on to bring to customers. And that's just a few of what we've got going on at the moment.
Just for this little bit future plus, I got super excited about what I will see in the future.
Excellent. I'm really pleased.
Thank you for your answers. My questions are done right now, and
Okay.
I'm pretty excited to see how the integration works. So I would like to invite Samuel on the stage to show us the demonstration. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Everything is going great. Can you show us the integration between SORACOM and Qubitro?
Yeah, are you sharing my screen right now? Yes, there we go. So as you can see, I have this SIM activated inside of SORACOM. And also I have the Qubitro or the Qubitro portal up right here. In order to integrate SORACOM along with Qubitro, you just simply go to New Source, SORACOM, and just like any other integration with Qubitro, you just copy over these two headers. So if I go into groups in SORACOM, you can see we're using their Beam service. They offer a TCP to the HTTPS entry point or UDP or SMS. So whichever connectivity method is best for this device, you can go ahead and select that method. And as you can see, I've already populated my project ID and the webhook signing key. So any device that is a part of this group, whenever it posts data to Qubitro, it will automatically be added to the Qubitro portal. I have this virtual weather station. So, last time when we were doing a once demo, we got kind of lucky and it was able to connect quickly. The device was able to connect quickly. But for this demo, I'm using one really cool feature of SORACOM, which is the virtual SIM. I think this is pretty cool because not only can I prototype applications on my computer, but also if I were doing some sort of continuous integration testing or something like that, I would be able to add the WireGuard file to a container and easily be able to just go ahead and connect to the core network and make sure that everything is working properly. So if I go ahead and I look at this weather station, you can see the data it's posting. So right here, this is a transformed data structure. So one thing that I wanted to be able to show off in Qubitro is if we go into functions. This is not actually the data it's sending. The data it's sending looks more like this, but Qubitro expects everything to be in the root document. So we're using JSON ADA to transform this document into this right here. So you can see we're getting things like the AQI, pressure, humidity, temperature, wind speed, what the battery voltage is, etc. And then we're able to bring all this data into a dashboard. So here you can see the map demo, bar chart, wind speed. We can go ahead and just create a new widget here. Let's do PM 2.5. So this would be particulate matter. We can go ahead and make a line chart for that. Make it whatever color you want. We can go ahead and make it curved if we want. Go ahead and save it. And you can see it just goes ahead and pulls that data right here. Along with the transform functions, we also have rule functions. So if we are getting data and we want to be able to test, is a value greater than, less than, equal, whatever, and we want to be able to send Slack notifications, webhooks, emails, whatever, we can go ahead and do that from the rule function area here. And then we also, one of the newer features is a storage function. So we're able to take all this data coming from SORACOM and store it into another source, such as Redshift, MongoDB time series, things like that. But yeah, I guess that's really all that I have for you.
Thank you so much. You make everything looks super easy, and I know that it's easy, but you make it look easier than it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is really quite easy. The demo isn't very long because it is simply so easy. You go into SORACOM Beam, you hit add configuration, you go ahead and select one of these, and you just copy over those values that I showed you, and simply any device that's posting data to the SORACOM core network to this entry point that's shown right here, just goes ahead and shows up in Qubitro, and you can use all the Qubitro features as if it's any other device. Then in the dashboard, we could also implement LoRaWAN devices, data from other cellular providers. It all just works.
Nice. Samuel, can I just get you to go back to on the list on the right hand side? If you move up to SORACOM Air, which is the top item, if you look at VPG, that's when you turn that on and you select private garden, when you save that, what you've done there is you turn off the internet connection to that device. So scary as that might sound, the way that you were working with the SIM card and SORACOM beam, those items are working between the device and the SORACOM core network. And then from the SORACOM core network, we're then passing that through the webhook through our network connection rather than through the device's network connection. So when you've put a device into public garden and you're using Beam, you've now removed that, you've isolated that device from the internet. It can't be tampered with. Even if you were to put malicious code onto that device, there is no route out. The only route from that device is to SORACOM Beam. So we find that a really useful tool for customers who want to shut
and I don't
down.
have to integrate, like a TLS stack into my device. I don't have to worry about a lot of details about the networking that you would traditionally have to do with another cellular provider.
And the button that I showed you earlier on, actually, that it doesn't even use MQTT. It uses a UDP, like a binary representation of button count. So it really optimizes the data that is being sent. It goes through a binary parser, and then that can be sent onto your device. And so, yeah, there's a whole bunch of ways that we can use those different services. You can see the whole rack of them there on the right-hand side, and there are more. Even when you've turned off the internet, for example, with the public garden, you can use SORACOM NAP to punch a hole back through to SSH if you want to perform some kind of admin function. So they two work very well in managing the device and securing the connection, and then visualizing with Qubitro. It's a nice partnership.
Additionally, I saw that there's a whole bunch of like network logging features and SIM management tools. So that really that removes a lot of time to market. So no TLS. Yeah, I can remove the TCP stack from this and use UDP, as you said. I don't need DTLS or TLS. As you said, you're going to be implementing embedded SIMs and integrated SIMs. So all of this put together, along with how easy it is to set up devices with Qubitro, that just makes building a cellular device an absolute a breeze, which is something that has traditionally not been the case. That cellular has traditionally been a very difficult problem to solve, one that requires a lot of overhead. And I could see some really low power devices benefiting from the features of SORACOM. And then obviously, we could have beautiful data representations within the Qubitro portal.
Excellent. I'm glad you've seen that. That's really cool.
Thank you for sharing this. As everyone can see, it is super easy. And if you would like to see what's in SORACOM and what's in Qubitro, we're gonna put their website on the description box. And if you have any questions, always you can feel free to ask us. So do you have anything you would like to add to this event? Nope.
Nothing for me. I don't know if there are any questions or anything that we can answer, but no, it was really good to have an opportunity to tell you. And I love talking about SORACOM and what it does and the services, and to see Samuel run it together and dive into that a bit. That's really cool. I'm so pleased. Thank you both.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. Thank you, Duncan and Samuel, for this amazing event. So see you in the next event. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.